Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, in our continuing quest to keep you informed on what's going on in the North Country, on occasion we invite some of the supervisors in to give us an update on the projects that they're working on and their priorities. And I'm glad that Claudia Braymer, Supervisor Ward 3, is joining us today. Welcome back, Claudia.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Yeah. And no, she has not been going to the tanning hut. She just got back from vacation. You were down in Barbados?
Yes.
Oh, fun island, without a doubt. Did you have a good time?
It was wonderful, yeah.
Oh, good. Well,
hard
welcome
to come back to the snow.
It is a little hard to come back to the snow, but knowing you, you're just glad to be back so you can get back to the supervisors, get back to the meetings, and get back on your agenda.
That's right.
That sounds really good to me. I asked you to come in because there was something that we picked up on in the spring that really caught our attention here. And it had to do with recycling. It had to do with plastic bags. And for a while we were following it. Then it seemed to kind of fall off the face of the earth. And now it seems like it's back again. So I know this is something that's a priority for you. Let's go back to the spring. Okay, tell us how this issue got on your agenda.
Sure. There was a local environmental group that came to me, brought the idea to me about doing something, whether it be a ban of plastic bags or a fee on the use of plastic bags. And so from there, I had a meeting with them separately, and then we brought it to the Environmental Concerns Committee. They actually came to the committee meeting and gave a presentation, and they had a draft proposal that they brought that day.
Now, why is this an issue? Why plastic bags?
Plastic is a problem, the plastic bags in particular, because of their single-use nature.
Yes,
A lot of them are petroleum-based. They're made out of oil, something that is a non-renewable resource. Takes millions of years to create. And then we're using those bags for only 10 minutes, and a lot of them are getting thrown away. There are voluntary recycling programs, but they're not always effective. People do try to reuse them at home, but a lot of times, they get piled up at home in a cabinet, and then you end up throwing them away because you haven't used them and you have more and more and more.
Yeah, sure. Guilty. I'm one of those people. My wife and I really love to recycle. And I do. I save them and I try to use them in waste baskets and things like that. But they do accumulate, and then all of a sudden at one point you're like, okay, just toss them.
Yeah.
And we do try to recycle them. But again, a non-renewable resource. And I read the same thing. We use them for an average of 10 minutes. You pack them at the grocery, you take them home, you unload the groceries, so I'm sure you can relate to what we're talking about here. It kind of fell off the radar in the summer.
It did. It went to the committee meeting, and we actually brought it to the full board meeting for a public comment period.
Yes, remember.
And at that time, the board, at the same time, there was a state task force that had been formed by Governor Cuomo. And so the board decided that they would see what the task force was going to do before we tried to step out and come up with a law on our own that may just be might
overlap or something,
might
right?
overlap
Yeah, sure.
or contradict what the state task force was going to propose.
Yeah, got it. Okay. So you did take that initiative, though. People were generally, at the time, I recall, supportive of it. There's always a contingency of people, which you have to hear, who say, wait a minute, don't tell me what to do. I'd like the choice.
Right.
I may choose to use paper, but I don't want the option of taking plastic away from me, right? So you ran into that. I remember that.
Right. There was some of that.
Okay. So now fast forward the fall. It's the issue's coming up again.
That's right. So
how'd that happen?
Basically, the election had ended, and I checked in with us. So it was partly political, I think, and also the state task force. I checked in with one of the members, and he told me that there wasn't really anything coming out of the task force anytime soon.
Oh, okay.
So I thought, well, if the state isn't doing something, then we should feel like we can go ahead and take the initiative to make a local law. And if at some point down the road it is preempted by the state, then we'll deal with it then. But there's no reason for us to keep waiting.
Now, we were watching, and you did bring it up at the meeting. And so what happens at this? Does it go into committee?
Right. We're going to bring it back to the next Environmental Concerns Committee because the committee had some changes at the November meeting. And I want to make sure that the committee is on the same board before we take it, same page, before we take it back to the full board.
Yeah.
So it'll come back to Environmental Concerns, I think at the end of January, but it might even be pushed into February. So just keep staying tuned.
Yeah, we want to stay tuned. Now, there was a public comment period last spring.
Right.
When it does get on the agenda again and gets through committee, will there be a public comment period again?
Yes.
Are you entertaining comments from the public at this point?
There will be an official public hearing.
Okay, got it.
Because my goal is to have it proposed as a local law, so we need to have an official public hearing before we could adopt it
Yeah,
as
sure,
a local
got it.
law.
Yeah, so
So,
got it.
but if people want to, make comments now, that's fine. I can tell you that the proposal that will be coming before the full board is a ban on plastic bags, and it will only apply to grocery stores. We had looked at other retail stores, we had looked at banning paper bags, but right now we're going to try to keep it really narrow and have a small focus so that hopefully it can get passed.
Well, you know what, I'd love to, and I'm sure you would like to get your voices heard on this. I'm sure a lot of you do what my wife and I do, is we have our reusable bags and we bring them with us to the grocery store, which avoids the paper or plastic issue. But, get your voices heard on whether you support this initiative to ban the plastic bags or not, and keep your eye out for public hearings, and we will follow up with you
Great.
on this subject. It really did catch our attention here, I remember, and I'm glad that you brought it back up
Yeah,
again.
I
Claudia.
know there are counties around the state that are doing this, but we will be one of the first if we're able to pass it.
Great.
And New York City passed something, but it was overrided by the state legislature, so that's sitting out there too.
I got
But
it.
I hope that we can take the lead on this.
Well, politics moving rather at its own pace and not always easy to track.
That's right.
It's a lot of work to get anything done. So
Yeah.
I really commend you for what you're doing. We've only got a few minutes left, but I
Yes.
wanted our audience to know also that the Remember Charlotte campaign is a boat safety campaign that we got involved with this summer that got an amazing reaction. I still get people stopping me about the campaign. Well, Claudia was such a driver in getting that campaign done. As you look back on it now, success, not success, is it going to be renewed?
I think it was hugely successful. And thank you for your particular support and Look Media's support.
Oh, you're welcome.
Getting the poster created and getting it out there. Yeah, I think it had an impact on people, and we are looking to renew that and carry it into the coming summers.
Yes, got
So
it.
we look to continue with that initiative.
Sure, it does. It's a message that's lasting.
Yeah.
Absolutely a message that's lasting. And we had, I don't know what it was, I spoke to you about it, but we had people from other jurisdictions comment on it and want to use the program on their lakes. So it wasn't just Lake Georgia, it was spread out through other lakes in Warren County and actually beyond. So if there's anything to honor Charlotte's memory, it's certainly a campaign that promotes boat safety, right?
That's right.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Thanks.
And thank you for taking the time to come in and keep us up to date on this, okay? Will
Yes,
you?
I will.
Great. Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.